All right. Primes.
Is that an and sign?
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of like intersection of sets. That's and. And these two sets and these two things. Yep. Written equation, point slope form, for a line passing through thing, and then so you can do that. But then I would also like you to okay, so you're going to start with 2 points. Make yourself a point slope form line. That was what we did for Wednesday. Once you got your point slope form line, and if you actually did what you're supposed to, then you know that there's 2 possible correct answers there. When you are done with that, convert it over to slope intercept form, and then we should all have, regardless of what we did before that, the same final answer. Get them? Suppose we can do that attendance thing. Poke. I see one of those. I see one of those. I see one of those. 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 Oh. That one. Chris and Sophie, Peyton, and Brennan. Okay, that's going. This is going. Sweet. No idea if it's going to work out nice or if it's going to be butt ugly. It's probably butt ugly. I just grabbed prime numbers and threw them up there. Fractions are not bad. Be not afraid of the fraction. Well, I did part 1. tell you that is not point slope form. Also, I feel the need to remind folks, we don't have our phones anymore. We lost that. You got notes. Section 5.1 was all about slope. Who's still going? Okay. Okay, we did. One, two, three, 4, 5. Right? Yeah. Okay. Just while I'm thinking of it, because whether I think of a thing or not is kind of sketchy lately. Day 5, meaning what you got right now is temporary for grade. Your next quiz, Tuesday. Okay? Now, if I remember right, there was 1 or 2 of you who said you were already going to be gone. Who was that? Any of you know you're gone Tuesday? No? Okay. You'll get some families who take, because you got Thursday, Friday off next week, they'll head somewhere, go camping, or maybe you got money so you can go somewhere warm. Quiz will be on Tuesday. Quarter is Wednesday. So it'll be those 3 quizzes, and all of the associated daily work is going to be your stuff. That also means you'll get a 4-day weekend without any math homework. So, stage 1. It says point slope. I should probably find slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the very first stage. Most of us are still labeling, which is good, so we don't screw up things. X2, y2. So if I say y2 minus y1, then I just plug and chug. Plug the numbers in, chug through the arithmetic. And I get negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. 7, add the opposite, plus 11 is 18. So the slope is not the prettiest, but I can still work with it. Point slope form. We said slope intercept is kind of your everyday tennis shoes. Those are the comfy shoes. The ones you're used to. The ones you're going to spend the most time in. But point slope form, those are the work boots because it's real easy to write the equation. Y minus y1 is m by x minus x1. Okay, you just take that slope form and you keep y2 as y, x2 as x, as just your y and x for the equation, rearrange it, and it looks like this. So I'm trying to find that form, and I now have a coordinate, x1, y1, and I just went and found a slope. So writing it is very simple. I just plug those 3 things in and I'm done. Now you could have had 2 different answers here, because we said it doesn't matter which one of those 2 coordinates you're going to use. I could have said y minus y1 is m, just found that, x minus x1. And if I subtract a negative 11, I will really add 11. I could have done that, or I could have used the other coordinate, y minus y1, again, add the opposite, is m x minus x1. Either one of those is correct. You don't have to have them both. Just said one of them. That's point slope. The whole idea of Wednesday's lesson. So when all you do is the same old, and write slope intercept form again, well, you didn't do anything we did on Wednesday. Convert either one of those into slope intercept form. That was the kicker here. They both look different. They're in the same form, but they got different numbers in them. But if I do it right, I'm going to use both of them just in case. What am I doing here? Let's just move these guys over. There we go. Okay, so you add one of these 2. In either one of them, if I want to go over to slope intercept form, I want to get y by itself. So I will distribute. Y plus 5 is negative 7/18. 7/18, not 17. X. When I distribute, you'll remember how to multiply by fractions. Numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator. That is plus 49/18. It ain't pretty, but I can work with it. Y minus 2 is negative 7/18 x. Distribute, again, numerator by numerator, that's minus 77/18. Or you just get a calculator that's going to do the work for you. When I subtract 5, that's subtracting 90/18. Or I let the calculator do the work for me. When I add 2, that's adding 36/18. In both cases, y is negative 7/18 x minus 41/18. And none of those can be reduced. Okay? It doesn't matter that they're fractions. Calculator do the work for you. Okay? Or we remember fractions from middle school. I've said that enough times, I think we're seeing the pattern by now. You kind of have to know how to work with fractions. If you don't, maybe you should practice fractions. Okay? My job isn't to teach you middle school and elementary school fraction stuff, it's to do algebra. You should have. Did you set up your slope form correctly and get the correct slope? Did you have actual point slope form and put things in the correct spots, signs and all? And then did you rearrange to get the slope-intercept version of it? 5 stages. You found your slope, you found it right. You plugged things in, you plugged them in right. You rearranged because we spent so much time on one variable equations that you're able to get to that. Now, last time I was gone, we had half the class didn't even try. Okay, life conspired. Hell, I'm pretty sure you heard Goblin 1 retching in the video, so you know what it's been like. I had to be gone. You had to do video lesson again. And again, no questions, nothing, zip, zero. Okay? Well, one interaction this morning. Okay? But that's it. So we already had the conversation. How do we feel? Show me the thumbs. I got this. Like, I did the thing. I know what I'm doing. Yay. A little bit fuzzy. Like, I did the thing. I'm just a little sketchy on it. And I have no clue. I didn't even try. Okay? Then why aren't I hearing anything? Why is there no interaction? You have a tutor in a pocket. Why aren't you asking? You got email? You got remind? Nothing. Zip, zero. Okay. Yeah, I was gone for 2 days. Anyone bother popping in this morning? One kid. So, we've had the discussion already. No one followed through. Speak now or forever hold your pieces. Is there anything from the assignment that you would like to go through? I want to point out the very first person to ask a question is also the one who did the best on that last test. You killed it. Good job. What do you got?
29.
Okay. 29. Ah, those darn words. Okay. Let's back out a little bit, give us some room to work. Okay, relationship between altitude and boiling point of water is linear. Altitude 8,000. Boils at this temperature, 4,500, boils at this temperature. Write an equation for the boiling point of water in degrees in terms of altitude. Y'all, those are coordinates. Boiling point in terms of, whenever they say thing in terms of, this is my input, this is my output. So if I say boiling point in terms of its altitude, it's telling me my x's are going to be the altitude, my y's are going to be my boiling point. And they gave you those as a coordinate. When 8,000, 197.6. So you have exactly what we just got done doing. A pair of coordinates make an equation from them. The two coordinates that I see are 8,000, 197.6, and 4,500, 203.9. So just like we just finished doing, step one, find your slope. Slope is y2 minus y1, and it doesn't matter which one's which, right? As long as you go in the same order. So I'll label x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2, 203.9 minus y1, 197.6 over x2 minus x1, 4,500 minus 8,000. Now my mental mojo is broke beyond all repair right now. So, who's got that calculator mojo?
63 over negative 3,500.
Ooh, and if you got one of those scientific calculators that'll do right view, they'll even turn it into a decimal or a fraction for you if it can be written that way. We'll get there. Let's start with what just 203.9 minus 197.6 is. Because I can't mental math anymore. What is that? 6.3 maybe? Or is it 5.3? Okay, 6.3 over 4,500 minus 8,000 is a negative 3,500. And we're not used to seeing a fraction that has a decimal in it. Do you remember what we talked about with the whole decimal fraction thing? Am I allowed to write my answers as decimals right now? Precedent. They gave me decimals. It's fair to work in decimals. Okay? They set the precedent. You know, you've been arguing with your friends before, and someone brings up something that happened 3 years ago in middle school. Well, now it's fair to argue about it because they're the one who brought it up. They have it in decimals. I'm okay to work in decimals. Just take 6.3 divided by negative 3,500, and I'm fine with that. Now, you did say it was as a fraction. About how much? It was a big, ugly fraction, right? Should be able to just scroll up and it should still be there.
Negative 0.0018.
0.0018. And does it actually stop there? Okay. We've talked about this before with terminating decimals. I'm allowed to write a terminating decimal anyway. So if I divide and I get that, that's my slope. Now write this equation. It just says write an equation. It doesn't say in slope-intercept form. It just says write it. So I'm going to use this new point slope form because it's a lot easier. Y minus y1 is m x minus x1. I love point slope form because you don't have to do any extra thinking. You just take these three numbers and shove them in those spots and you're done. Okay? It's like the The little Tupperware containers that got the 3 different sections for you. I don't have to think. My food doesn't touch each other. I just throw them in there. I'm good to go. Okay? Now, it's easy to write that. It's a lot tougher to answer this question because it involves a little bit of manipulation now. That's why you would want to turn it back into slope-intercept form. So I can either shove 2,500 in for x, because remember altitude is x, and solve, or I could turn this into slope-intercept form and then throw it in. I'll get the same answer either way. Now, I like that idea of letting my calculator do all the work for me. I wrote an equation. I did what you told me. I'm done with the equation, so I'll just let the calculator do the tough part for me. Negative 0.0018. X is going to be 2,500 minus 8,000. And then I'll add that over there, and I'll just one-shot it in the calculator. Like setting up dominoes. I don't actually have to rearrange this and simplify it if I just want the answer. Right? Put a 2,500 in right here, and this guy will have to be added to the other side. So I'll just one-shot that in the calculator and not do any thinking. I'll say my, what was it, negative 0.0018, parenthesis, 2,500, minus 8,000, parenthesis, plus 197 point, oh, I thought it was 3. Womp. 207.5. So when I'm at the altitude of 2,500 feet, water's going to boil at 207.5. It was our very last example in 5.4 was blah, 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 do what you just did. Just with numbers from word problem. Okay? That's it. Sometimes we'll get scared by big numbers. Big numbers, decimals, fractions, it looks scary. By now, you should all have, I hope, this far into the school year, a scientific calculator. If you don't, then if you don't and obtaining one is an issue for you and or your family, come and talk to me. I can scrounge some up. We're math teachers. We hoard them. We're like squirrels. We got a little Office Max hiding in our classroom. I'll probably be able to find one. Okay? Now, scientific calculator, that doesn't mean it has to be super fancy. Okay? The one Peyton's got there. I used a very similar to that in 6th grade. The technology has not changed. Works just fine, right? But you head over to Walmart and you get one of these Casios, they're like 10 bucks. And for anyone who's been using these, I mean, y'all heard Amy just bleh out this big nasty fraction without even thinking, because this did it for her. Okay, it's called a right view calculator. If you have to use the bumblebees, the graphing calculators in there, I tell you what, oh boy, that is overkill. That is deer hunting with a bazooka. It is overkill, but it'll get the job done. Okay, all you got to know is where your fraction button is. Alpha y equals. Okay. On the 83, they did not have the fraction button. You have to use parenthesis, number divided by number, parenthesis. And then go to the math menu to change it to a fraction. Okay, those are the graphing calculators I used in high school. So that's 18 years? What's now, 22? 19 years. Okay, the tech on a scientific or a graphing calculator hasn't changed much. Okay, so I'm torn. I'm really torn. I know that you need to practice. I know you do. But last time, we didn't do what we were supposed to, took a day off for practice. Life happened again. We did the exact same thing. Like, I'm really torn between y'all didn't do it, so I'm just going to keep going, versus, all right, let's slow down and get it right. This stuff is that important. Like basic linear equations. This is the stuff you have to do for the rest of high school. This is the stuff your kid is coming to you for help with in another 20 years. I guarantee it. So, be honest with yourself. Are you okay to learn a third form? Or do you need the practice with point slope? Okay? So point slope it is. I'll print some stuff out. We're going to practice. You know what? I lied. I ain't even going to do that. You only had a handful of problems done in the book. We'll just pick different ones, and we're going to practice that, and you're actually going to ask questions this time. Okay? So, let's do. Let me look at what yours was last time. Half. 10, 15, 18, 25. There we go. Just so I know what it was last time. So you don't want to do those again. Same business, except page 318. We're in double dip, though. You already did 19 through 22, though. We need more than that. We need more than that because we need help doing our 2 coordinate ones. No, we're going to have to run something off. We're going to have to run something off because you already were assigned the ones that you actually need to practice with. So, we're going to end the video.